I get that when there's a lot to do, it's easy to keep planning and overthinking instead of actually starting. I am guilty as charged. It's so easy to get stuck in the planning loop and just, keep trying to make a perfect plan over and over again that we don't actually focus on what is the most important part of planning, which is execution. The trick is to move from planning to execution quickly, even if it is not perfect. And as the old adage goes, done is better than perfect. As a person who has gotten stuck in the planning loop way too often, I have found a few things that really help me get out of the planning loop and jump into execution mode quickly and actually get a lot of things done. And in this video I will take you through 5 simple tricks that are going to help you bridge the gap from planning mode to execution mode very, very quickly. Number 1, you have to set a good enough bar. Okay, you don't actually need a perfect plan. You need about like 70% ready plan and just begin, because life happens and you have to adjust as you go, right? There is no like set in stone plan from the get go, and there is no situation in which the plan will be followed 100% to the T. Let's take an example of, maybe, remember your exam days back in school, right? I used to make these beautiful timetables, absolutely elaborate ways in which, like, I would distribute my syllabus and how much time I had, and I would properly, lay down every 2 hour 3 hour block I found in my day, in between school and between extracurriculars, and how I'm going to cover X% of the syllabus on day 1, Y% on day 2, and so on and so forth. By the end of the week, invariably I would have fallen behind my plan, and it would be really demotivating. Now, as a teenager, that was extremely upsetting. As an adult, I can see that what is in my control is to use the time that I have available to the best of my ability and the most efficient way that I can think of, right? But there are so many things which are not in your control, that having a watertight plan can actually be detrimental, because when you do fail to achieve every single mark on that watertight plan, then you actually feel really demotivated and you kind of give up on the way instead of pushing forward. So that's not going to get you to achieve any goals. That's why you need to set a good enough bar. Like, if your aim is to finish, say, 4 chapters in a week, say 2 chapters and maybe the outline of the third one is a good enough bar. Okay, we are here till now, and this is how we can keep moving forward. So the plan is working, maybe other things came along the way, and you just adjust as you go. Trick number 2, you have to use the 5-minute rule. You must have heard, like, so many productivity gurus constantly keep telling you, just do it, just get out of bed, just count till 5 and get out, do it. It's not that easy. But sometimes when something feels really overwhelming, just tell yourself, I'll do it for 5 minutes and then I will stop. I will only do this for 5 minutes. So if there's like a really tough paper that you need to study for and you're just constantly procrastinating because just the thought of sitting with it for 3 hours is so daunting for you, then just set a timer for 5 minutes and just look at the questions, just read the subheadings, and just tell yourself that, if at the end of 5 minutes I don't want to do it, I will not do it, I will do something else, and then have like a backup ready. Once you get started and once you're over the initial hump of inertia, you're likely to keep going. And I have seen this with myself, and I'm using the example of exams and studies because I think most people will relate to those experiences. Even if you take some professional experiences, there's like a deck that you need to prepare, maybe a meeting that you need to prep for, and you're really dreading, like, oh my god, what will the stakeholders say, what will my manager have to say about this, etc., etc. Just prep for it for 5 minutes. Make one slide, just write the slide heading, and if you don't want to go ahead with that, then work on something else. But it's just more likely that once you get into the groove and you're not intimidated by how much that needs to be done, you're more likely to be able to finish it up and actually keep going. Point number 3 is when you can start small and then expand. So instead of trying to plan everything all at once, pick one task and do that today. For example, say if you are looking to change your job, then the entire process can seem very overwhelming. You have to update your CV, you have to reach out to your alumni or your friends for referrals, you have to look up relevant job openings, you have to see what the job description demands. If there is a particular job that you really want, then you'll have to prep for it separately. You have to prep for like the technical rounds, the HR rounds, a lot of questions they might ask, and a lot of like technical, if there's like a coding thing, then you have to practice these questions. Many layers to it, right? But if you just think that okay, for today I'm just going to update one section of my resume and that's all and I'm going to do, it's still progress in the direction that you are really wishing to go for, but it is still not an overwhelming thing. So just do one section today, another section tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Number 4, time box your planning. You have to give yourself a deadline. For example, like I'm going to plan for 30 minutes and then I have to start doing. Can't forever plan. I mean, if I just sit with all the plans that I've made for various things, even for trips or vacations or for like doing some online course or something, there is no end to it. I am going to always be like finding tweaks, finding ways to make this the most perfect plan. Maybe steal 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Yeah, this is the way I can schedule my commute. This is the way I can plan my travel. This is when I get the most leaves, etc, etc, etc. But did I book that vacation? No, because I was too busy planning the perfect one that by the time I was done planning, I was so exhausted that I didn't actually go for it. So this is of course an extreme example, but you have to give yourself like, okay, I'm going to do this for the next 30 minutes. Even if it is for like an exam, I'm going to make like a rough timetable for the next 30 minutes, and then I have to start studying, and then I'm not going to touch the plan until something like big has happened that has disrupted your entire flow or something. I'm not going to do anything to the plan. I just know that these are the time frames that I need to study every day, and this is kind of like one chapter, two chapter, whatever I have to cover every day, and then I'll just keep moving. Otherwise you will get stuck in endless prep mode and you will not make that jump to execution mode. And finally, take imperfect action. You do not have to feel ready to start. You will never feel ready, and when you start taking small steps, action builds that momentum, and momentum will create motivation. So right after I had my baby, the thought of working out caused a lot of fear in my head, right? Because before I had her, I was lifting weights very easily. I really enjoyed strength training, and I was doing 10k 15k steps every day, no problem. And suddenly even just walking a couple of steps was so painful. So but that if I had let that fear stay in my head, then I would not have been able to get fit again. I would have not been able to get back into my preferred workout routine again, because that would have really stopped me. Just because I can't do 100% right now doesn't mean that I shouldn't be doing the 20-30% that I can do. Then as I kept doing that consistently, it really did help me build momentum, and that was more motivation, because then I was seeing that I was feeling fitter, I was feeling better, I was walking longer distances, and those things really gave me motivation. So that's what I feel, that once you are okay with the fact that the action that you're taking is going to be in the right direction, but it's not going to be perfect, and if you're okay with that, like you have to be okay with that, and then you do make real progress. So that's it for this video, guys. I just wanted to share these 5 quick tips with you, and I really hope that this helps you in getting over the planning loop and jumping into the execution mode. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.